All right, and we're live. Once again, back at it with another episode of Gym Check-In. It is your boy, Yasuke Fitness. We're back at it again, man. Uh, Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the like button when you're coming in. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Help me out with the YouTube algorithm. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my thing. Today is going to be a pretty cool episode. I've been waiting to have in this episode. Actually, I've been waiting to have this episode with for somebody for a while, and I'm glad to have it with my boy Jay. I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself, and then I'll go ahead and let y'all know what the topic is. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. My name is Jay Davis. Got the pleasure of knowing this brother, man. I'm out of Atlanta. I work in IT and I do Shaolin Kung Fu. So, really excited to get into the topic today with you, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's been a while since we talked, so I guess we can like catch up a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? And just let the audience know a little bit about, the relationship between us. I ended up meeting Jay at was it the first or the second
Maybe
CME?
it's
I don't, was
the
that the
first?
first one?
I think it was the
I don't
first
think
one.
that was the
No,
first
no, no. It
one.
was the second one. It was the
It was the
second one.
second one. Yeah, it was the second one. Yeah. So I ended up meeting Jay at the second Conference of Masculine Excellence hosted by Donovan Sharp down in Miami last year. It was a great conference, man. Like, dude, it was amazing, and I would definitely 100% recommend that for any guy out there, any guy out there that's like really looking to just be around some positive masculine men and just learn and do a bunch of great shit. Shout out to Donovan Sharp. We ended up meeting out there. We hung out. You know what I'm saying? We were freaking all over the town. I mean, the Miami and
All
whatnot,
over.
and
All over.
just had a good, just overall good time, man. The speakers at the freaking the speakers were going crazy, man. Like who
Yeah.
it went? I think Minister Jap had went off, man. He
Yeah, man.
definitely went off, dude. But yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, man.
aside from that, that's where we met, and me and Jay, we've always been cool friends. I lived in Georgia at the time, and I ended up going to see Jay actually do martial arts, man. Go ahead and explain a little bit more, if you could, for everybody watching. Explain a little bit more about what you do for martial arts. Can you repeat what it was again?
Yeah. So it's Shaolin Kung Fu. But
Kung
I
Fu.
also do, yeah, Gong Fu. Yeah,
Kung Fu.
you hear Kung, but it's Gong Fu.
Okay. All right.
And I also do Chinese kickboxing, which is called Sanshou.
Sancho.
And that's
Okay.
what you came to see me do. It was a
Oh.
kickboxing tournament that we held at our school.
Okay.
Um, for those that are in the Atlanta area, you want to check us out. It's the Shaolin Institute. You can find us on Instagram. You'll probably see me in a lot of those videos on there, getting thrown by Shifu and doing some throwing. We're gonna throw that in there. I'm doing some throwing too, so
Right.
check us out.
But yeah, man, that's dope. I do have a lot of questions for you when as pertaining to that. We also have videos to dive into, and I totally forgot to mention what today's topic exactly was going to be about. It was going to be about. Sorry, guys, everybody watching. I'm saying we'll do this live, anyways. The topic today is going to be about martial arts. Obviously, I have Jay in here. It's going to be about martial arts. It's going to be about what does that mean to men? What does this all mean in the grand scheme of things when it comes to men and our mentalities and our psyches and whatnot? Why is it so good? The influence on black people. Because we're both melanated brothers, and we both like martial arts. We both like, what I'm saying? You guys already know what it is. Like, we were watching all those movies and shit growing up and doing all that shit. I'm telling you, I don't give a damn who you are, bro. I don't know why, but black people love martial arts, bro. We love to
Oh
see
yeah,
fights. We love to. I think we just love to throw hands. So it's like
indeed.
this. You know what I'm saying? It's like this weird connection. But we're also gonna hop into a video about that. But that's the overall scheme for today's topic. So it's just gonna be about some of our favorite martial artists and things like that. So I guess we can just dive into the first video, and then actually no, I wanted to talk a little bit more about kung fu that you
Hmm.
or sanshou. So
Hmm.
what is the difference between like this? What's the difference between sanshou and Muay Thai?
So there's a lot more similarities than there are differences.
Okay.
Um, Sancho and Muay Thai, you know, really it's just where it originated from. That's the
Okay.
biggest difference. A lot of
Yeah.
the techniques are the same. You know, your
Mm.
punches, your kicks, your elbows, you know, your throws, all of those things. Now with Muay Thai, you know, it's more they have throws, but you know, it's more kick based, right? Like you're throwing more kicks, you're throwing hands, but Sancho, I think the biggest thing with it is it's point based, which you know Muay Thai is too, but
I
with
think
Muay
it's
Thai
a
you get to go a little bit longer
yeah.
than you do in Sancho, right?
I think with Muay Thai, a lot of your points comes from like how sturdy you are, or like how like if you take a kick and like how poised you are. But go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, no, you're right, and you know the thing with Sancho, like I said, it's more point based fighting. So um, you know you can get paid being aggressive, but you could also get waxed being too aggressive, you know,
Really?
especially when you're fighting in longer rounds. You know, it's really about balance and making sure that uh you govern yourself accordingly. Guard
Okay.
your energy, guard your breathing. You know,
Right.
it's
Right.
that's important. So
Hold your composure and whatnot.
hmm
Okay. So before we go into the first video, I just want to ask one more question.
hmm
What can you recall your hardest fight or your hardest match? And can you go into detail or like just a little bit or something that you remember or something, what I'm saying, that happened, or I don't know, like what's the craziest thing you experienced doing Sancho?
and you know, I will say that the hardest match was my first match,
First one. Okay.
first one. And the reason why I say that is because it's the uncertainty.
Right.
You know, like you've got other people coming, you know, doing something totally different than you do, you
Right.
know, and you know, you compete against the folks in your school and you know, you're confident there, but when you don't really compete against other schools that often or other styles, it's
Yeah.
always intimidating.
Right.
And with it being my first one, I like I said, I knew how I held up with the guys
That you
in
know.
the school, but what
Yeah.
about these dudes that's coming in here now that are also saying, "Yo, this is my first fight," and you looking at them like, "I don't know, cuz like you look like you do
I
this
don't
so
know,
so."
bro.
I don't know,
I don't
cuz like
know
you
about
watching the
that one.
practice, you know what I'm saying? They kicking through the ceiling and juggle. You like, I don't know, but it's the nerves.
Okay.
It's the nerves, man. The first one was always it was the hardest one because even when you train, you know, obviously your training helps when you get into the ring, but nothing can really prepare you for it like actually
Yeah.
being in the ring. When we talk
Actually.
about balance, when we talk about breath work, when we talk about moving, when we talk about, you know, paying attention to your opponent, scanning them, understanding them, you
Mhm.
know, it's a lot, man. And you know, I would say that that was the hardest one because it was so much to take in at one time.
Right.
But
Okay.
yeah, I won that one though, man. I won that one. I
Nice.
took gold
And
in
that was that the day.
that
Well, that was the day that I went, right?
that was the
Or
one.
was
Yeah, that was the day you were
oh
there.
yeah,
That
oh
was my
yeah,
first
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Dog,
So
that's congratulations, man. Like
yeah,
I,
appreciate
I
it,
would
bro.
say congratulations again because we winning over here. We win. We
That's
win
what we
things over
do.
here.
That's what
That's
we
what we
do.
do. But that's dope, man. I'm like it reminds me of back when I was wrestling in high school, man. And I don't think wrestling's even considered a martial art, but I mean it's like a match. It's
Kind
a
of a big deal, bro. Like
it is.
wrestling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wrestling was it really takes you out of your shell, and like doing it in like high school, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt the same, you know, uncertainty, for the first 3 months before we even like before I even had my first match. It was just straight conditioning and training. And like we did live matches and stuff in our restroom against the other guys, but it wasn't like people watching you on a mat, you know what I'm saying, official records and stuff like that. So I remember doing my first match, man. I was just shaking, dude, because like they call your name and everything like that. You gotta go over to the box and like you gotta like check in with the spectators and the refs and stuff like that. And it's like, bro, your heart's just pounding, and then you
Bro.
shake the dude's hand, and then you go. It is go time, right?
Yeah.
I ended up winning my first match too, man. And I actually still have it on videos. It's actually I did a reaction to it a couple episodes ago. But yes, I mean, it's the same thing. So I'm sure we could definitely relate on that on that scale. So, but yeah, I definitely got more questions about that as we go on. But I do want to just go into the first topic. So it's going to be just basically the mentality, you know, the mind when it comes to martial arts, and you know, who else to start this off than obviously Bruce Lee. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Lee is he's just the guy.
He's that guy, bro. He's that
the guy. You know, I don't care how many times. Like you could never. Bruce Lee can never be outplayed. Like you can never play out like Bruce Lee. Like I don't give a damn where you are, what century we're in. Bruce Lee was just him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So I'm gonna go into 2 videos, and then we'll talk a little bit about them. So let me go ahead and present. Let me bring these windows over and share my screen. All right, so this one's just an inspirational video. Watch. All right.
I love this one.
Yeah, this, you know what I'm saying, it's the best one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we'll talk. I want to talk a little bit more about this and have a discussion about it. So let's go ahead. Let me know if you can hear this.
Okay.
Empty your mind. Be formless.
Oh shit! What's going on, internet? Don't do this to me.
That buffer life.
Have the video loaded up.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
This was insane to me, dog.
Yeah, dog. Crazy.
All right, we'll pause it there. So, literally, bro, we got a comment, and I'll go ahead and read it off. We'll answer the comment before we tap into that video. So, we got Christian. What's up, bro? I call him Moose. His name's Christian. Thanks for joining, man. Let's go ahead and read it. Question for Jay: have you ever knocked anyone out? If yes, how do you feel after the fact? Let him know.
No, I've never knocked anyone out cold.
Okay.
I've knocked somebody out to the point where they couldn't fight anymore, but they wasn't out cold. Like they dropped to the ground, it was over after that. But never knocked anybody out. Now I've seen people get knocked out, and you know, I can tell you how that felt, because you know, it was actually one of my homeboys that got knocked out that trains with me. Man, he was fighting this big dude, man. I mean, this dude hit him with a hook. Went down, bro. It was down. Like you felt it. Like people felt it in the crowd because you heard it. It was like, crack. Hit him in the jaw. He was out. He was out.
Getting knocked out is not fun.
Nah, man.
But it's a part of the game.
It is. Keep them hands up.
Keep them hands up. Always stay guarded. Shoot. I mean, and you got to be able to come back from that, right? You know, but that's the point. That's the point of the sport. That's the point of the martial art is learning how to, you know, take losses. There's wins and losses, man, and that's what I really loved about the combat sport is like once you lose, it's like it's so hard, bro. But you got to learn something from it. You got to like keep on going. You got to keep on pushing. But But yeah, certainly, like
Yeah.
that's just not a comfortable thing to go through, man. But it is a part of the game. But this video right here. So the first thing I want to say, well, I want your thoughts first on Bruce Lee. I want your thoughts on what he said. The be like water, and I actually want to bring up like the full clip of it, man. I'm gonna see if I can bring up the full clip.
Yeah.
Before you answer that, because like this, what he said, I've literally pondered this for years almost. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, well, what does he mean? Like, let me see if I could find it. Damn it. Okay, here it is. Yep. I'm bring it up right now. We got to watch the full clip too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go to the share. Okay.
What is your instinct? To pray. In this position, your arms are useless. Yeah. Can you kick or stomp me? No. Then, if you wish to survive, what do you do? I don't know. Bite. Bite? Are we not animals? You all right?
I can't find much evidence to the contrary, Lee. Bite, huh?
Biting is efficient in close quarter, but don't make a plan of biting. That is a very good way to lose your teeth.
There's so much to remember.
If you try to remember, you will lose. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Put it into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or creep or drip or crash. Be water, my friend.
Why don't I just stand in front of a boat and recite that to him? Maybe he'll faint or drown.
When is it?
Tomorrow.
You are not ready.
I know.
Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose. To accept defeat, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying.
Yeah, like that right there, man.
Bro.
That right there.
That's so many bars, man.
Let me tell you, man. I have legitimately sat down in the middle of the night pondering that shit, like lost in my thoughts, like what the hell does he mean? And first of all, I want your thoughts on it. So, was that the first time you heard the full clip, or
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me.
So, well, first we could break down "Be Like Water." Like I love that because what he says about being formless is true.
Right.
When you do any martial art, it could be kung fu, it could be taekwondo, whatever. A lot of times people get caught up on the technique, like they get caught up on the form, or they get caught up on the power that they're trying to generate, and they forget that all of that comes by being free forming, like water, right? Like I'll give you an example.
Yeah, that shit's deep, man. That shit's deep.
Yeah, it goes deep, man.
That shit is. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So like water, right? Like water in a stream.
Yeah.
It goes constantly in the same direction.
Right.
If rocks are there, whatever, it'll go through the rock. It doesn't change. The form is what it is, right? A lot of times, like when you do martial arts, a lot of people get focused. They get focused on, oh, well, I want to do like all the cool moves. I want to do all the cool kicks. I want to do all the. There's a saying that's like, you don't fear the man who knows 1,000 techniques.
Yeah.
You fear the man who studied one technique 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Why? Because his mind becomes like water. Because when he throws that technique at you, he's like water. He doesn't think. He doesn't process. He doesn't say, hey, how am I going to do this? No, he is like water. Water just goes. It doesn't matter what you put in front of it. It's going to take shape and form whatever's there. So being like water, I mean, that's so true. That's so true, man.
Bro.
Um,
And it goes in life too, man. This
Mhm.
like that's life in general, bro. Everything that you do in life is you have to be fluid. You know, you have to be able to shape to your environment. So whatever you find yourself in, you know, like for example, you know, I was in the military. So for example, being in the military, I had to shape myself to figure out the ins and outs of the military. It's like you couldn't just, and anybody who did it got kicked out, didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that in life. I'm sure it's like that in business and relationships and everything. You have to enter some kind of flow state through deliberate practice, a devotion, and discipline. You know. So, but the part at the end when he says, you know, like everybody else, you want to learn the way to win, but never the way to lose. And he says to accept defeat, you know, and to learn to die. And you have to learn the art of dying. And it's like, that is so true, man. Everybody's focused on the W. Everybody's focused on the W. And obviously you want to win, right? But nobody, like, there's not a coach out there that's going to show you how to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's going to deliberately take time out of his life. It's like, you know what, let me teach you. Everybody's teaching you how to win. I want winners. You know, coaches like, I want this team to win. I want this football team, basketball team, wrestling, whatever you're doing. I want the W. I want the trophy. But like a lot of coaches aren't going to show you how to lose. And that's I think that differs. Like that's what the difference is between having a coach and having like a sensei or like a master that like you guys like go through the shifu, like you go through life with each other, these life moments and stuff like that. And like obviously a coach is there when you lose, you know what I'm saying? Like he, you know what I'm saying, he or she like definitely like motivates you in a loss, but at the end of the day, like you're never taught on how to take a loss, right? You got to just work on it on your own. So I think that's definitely important in today's world where, you know, we get everything so quickly and people want to just have the nice things. They want to do them, you know, be in the biggest houses and biggest cars and stuff. And, you know, it isn't until you really fail at something or you're not doing well or like whatever happens, right? And you find yourself in that situation where you have to learn how to be in that position and you're not winning yet. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I think that's just a like really, really deep. We can go on for a long time on just what he said in general, but Bruce Lee in and of himself is just this is an insane testament to just the power of humans and just, you know, just it just shocks me that this guy even lived. And I'm obviously super upset that, you know, he had to die the way he did and so early. Because if Bruce Lee would have lived out his life, you know I think we would have been living in a different world.
It's possible, man.
We would have been living in a different world, man. People would have different we would have a different life perception, man. If he would have lived out his life, come on, like if this guy as an old man, the amount of wisdom and knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you, man. I you know, Shifu always says, you know, Kung Fu is a way of life. And that's really what martial arts is. It's a way of life. It applies to all aspects of your life. You know, the discipline, learning how to lose, man. That's such a great point, man, because in my opinion, losing should be a way of life like everything else. And I know that sounds crazy when you hear somebody say it, like losing should be a way of life. Like what?
It is.
Like,
but we don't,
because when you lose, what lessons did you take from it? Some of your greatest successes will come behind your greatest losses, not your wins. Because when you win, in a way, you're complacent. It adds to, because you can go back and review how you won, and there are certain techniques or things you could do that
Yeah.
that you could improve on, but that'll never be as fruitful as when you lost.
Mhm.
And that's the thing to apply, like you said, in all facets of life, man. I mean, it's a oh, and dying to yourself, because for some people, a loss will take them out.
Yeah.
Like when you lose, when you go back and review the lesson that you got from the loss, that version of yourself should die and a new
Yeah.
version should be born,
That's
right?
education. That's
Someone
true
who is
education.
right, who's smarter than they were the last time, right? That's not to say they won't fail again, but you shouldn't be failing at the same thing you failed at in the first place.
Right.
If you learned how to lose.
If you truly learn the lesson, and that is a true testament to life, because in life, man, and I was in the same position in a lot of different situations, and especially when it comes to women, it was like, I'll give you like, I'm not gonna say any stories or nothing, but I noticed, like, from the time I, like, going through the military and whatnot and going to college, I was getting into the same kind of, like, altercations. All right, your screen just paused. Oh, you good? I was getting into the same kind of altercations with different girls, right? And it would always, like,
Mm,
it was like the same kind of cycle, and it was like, where, like,
mm,
at a point in time, I sat down and I was like, where am I failing at? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm failing somewhere in turn, and this is not like I'm in a relationship or nothing. This is just me just interacting with, like, certain girls or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But it always, like, blow up into, like, some uncomfortable situation, and I was like, where
hmm
am I? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I really questioned myself, and, like, that situation was gonna happen again with another person, and I stopped myself, and I was like, you know what? I told her, I was like, you know what? I'm good. I pretty much said, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? And that is when
Yeah.
you really learn the lesson. When you could sit back and say, you know what? I'm good. Like, I don't need that.
hmm
I don't need this. I don't, like, it's fun, whatever. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? You can
Yeah.
go about your business. And that's your peace of mind. So that's definitely an important lesson for a lot of people to learn. I hope a lot of people, anybody who's watching this, is picking up on that. So
Self
uh
mastery, man. Self mastery.
self-mastery, dog. You have something else to say?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was just real quick, like just to
Yeah.
check on that, man.
Oh, yeah, man, go ahead.
Rejection is the greatest teacher of self mastery,
Right.
right? Like, you know, with dealing with women, man, like when you get rejected, again, you're dying to yourself, because there are some guys out here that when they get rejected, they get dejected. And now they don't go back, they don't talk to women anymore or anything like that. Instead of learning to love yourself first. But I got it,
Exactly.
but I can't find it. It says love yourself, because when you're able to love yourself, things like be like water, things like dying to yourself, they become easy, because
Yeah.
everything is about improving yourself. You should never want to talk to a woman or do anything just because somebody else says you should or you think you should. Know, is it what you want to do?
Right.
That's what self mastery is, man. Like, I do what I do because I want to, not because I think somebody else thinks that I should do it, or it's
Yeah.
what society says I should do. Self
Mhm.
mastery, man. So,
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So we got another comment from Christian. Go ahead. He says failure is a part of the road to success.
facts.
Pause. Let me freaking I was freaking messed up there. Failure is a part of the road to success. That is 100% facts on that, Christian. You gotta fail in order to truly succeed in life, man.
Yeah.
The way this life goes, and the things that you're gonna do, and the people that you're gonna interact with, you are bound to drop the ball. It's something, right? Like, you can't,
hmm
and the fact that we expect people and ourselves to be like these perfect kind of things that, like, never fuck up is insane to me. Like, you are gonna drop the
hmm
ball. It's something. I've dropped the ball several times in something, And you have to be able to sit down with yourself in those moments and accept that you dropped the ball and you accept that you lost, take the L, and truly get back up and pave a new path, carve a new path into the future, man. That's like, you know what I'm saying? That's the path of the warrior. That's the path of being a man. You know what I'm saying? In this world, you're gonna fuck up. You have to be able to get back up and carve a new path, a new way of life. You know, the way I always say it is, no matter what happens, man, this life still gotta get lived. Like, you still gotta live this life, right? Like, you still gotta live.
Say that again.
Like,
say that again for the people in the back, bro.
No matter what happens in this life, man, I don't care. You can name it everything under the sun, bro. This life still gotta get lived. Like, you still gotta go through it. You're still gonna have to wake up and do what you have to do. Things gotta get done. You gotta eat. People gotta get taken care of. Things gotta happen. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have the days, whatever, but it's gonna continue. It's gonna continue, man. And the faster you accept that in life, that you're gonna change and things are gonna go, you know what I'm saying, keep going, the better you are gonna be at progressing, because you know time's always changing, right? So I wanted to get into a second video. I want to get into another video. It's another Bruce Lee video, and then we'll move on. But this one is also another deep one that I still don't even think I fully grasp like what this even means. But let me share it. Okay. Where are we? Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the next one. It's just I'm just gonna play a little clip off of it. So
I love this movie.
Yeah, this one is nice, man.
Teacher?
I see your talents have gone beyond the mere physical level. Your skills are now at the point of spiritual insight. I have several questions. What is the highest technique you hope to achieve?
To have no technique.
Very good. What are your thoughts when facing an opponent?
There is no opponent.
And why is that?
Because the word I does not exist.
So, continue.
A good fight should be like a small play, but played seriously. A good martial artist does not become tense, but ready. Not thinking, yet not dreaming. Ready for whatever may come. When the opponent expands, I contract. When it contracts, I expand. And when there is an opportunity, I do not hit. It hits all by itself.
Now, you must remember, the enemy has only images and illusions, behind which he hides his true motives. Destroy the image, and you will break the enemy. The it that you refer to is a powerful weapon, easily misused by the martial artist who deserts his vows. For centuries now, the code of the Shaolin Temple has been preserved. Remember, the honor of our brotherhood has been held true. Tell me now the Shaolin Commandment number 13.
A martial artist has to take responsibility for himself and to accept the consequences of his own doing.
We'll pause it right there. But yeah, this
bro.
Well, before we tap in, we got one comment from Young Villain. Go ahead and thanks for dropping in the chat, Young Villain. Go ahead and read this comment. Tips for recovering after martial arts bodybuilding. So I'll give my take on this, and then I'll pass the question to you. So, if you're asking me when it comes to recovering, number one is sleep. Like, your sleep is your number one tool of recovery. If you're not getting enough hours, if you have a lot of anxiety, insomnia, or whatever, and your sleep is just being disrupted, that's going to be your number one issue when it comes to recovering. Two is obviously nutrition, the food that you put in your body, not just drinking protein shakes, but the actual food. So, are you actually putting nutritious things into your body? Are you getting the vitamins and minerals and whatnot? And then lastly is just simply, sometimes you don't always got to go so hard. You know what I'm saying? If you're feeling sore, you know what I'm saying, your body's telling you something, and it's probably telling you to just take it a little bit easier the next time around until you feel 100% again. So that's just my comments on that. What about you? What are your remedies when it comes to recovering in like martial arts, or like after a fight or something like that?
Yeah, bro. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. All those things are things that I would say. The one thing that I would add is learn how to breathe. Learn how to breathe. Learn breathing techniques to calm your body down. We were made, man. We've got an amazing creator, man, and we were created with everything to take care of ourselves in every way. You'd be surprised how healing breathing is, especially after doing things like bodybuilding and martial arts. Like my regimen, man. I will bodybuild in the morning and go do Ong Fu at night.
Okay.
Like, I'll do 2 a days, but
nice.
During that time in between, man, breathing, man, directing energy in the body where you need it, to your point, man, where you're hurting, where you're sore, direct your energy there, man. Breathe. You'd be surprised how helpful that is. So
that's facts, man. Definitely, breathing is so important, and we not enough of breathing techniques is even talked about. You know what I'm saying? We should definitely be talking at least more about breathing techniques and things like that, because it's important. It's important when you're actually doing the work, and we don't talk about how important it is when you're not doing the work, or when you just, relaxing, or when you get up in the morning, or things like that. So definitely very, very important. So we have another comment by Christian, but I'm going to wait on this comment because I wanted to just talk about this video that we just watched real quick. Bring that down. So yeah, so the first time I heard this, man, from Bruce Lee, dog, I got freaking goosebumps, bro. When he was like, there is no opponent, you know what I'm saying? He's like, because there's no I in opponent. So it's like it's that flow state that you were talking about earlier, where and then how he was talking about he doesn't hit it, like it hits all on its own. Like, you know what I'm saying? The way he throws his strikes,
yes,
or like what he does, it's all on. It's a flow state, man. So I'm just really inspired by Bruce Lee in these films, and obviously every other martial artist, every other actor / martial artist, like Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Tony Jaa, Michael J. White, all those guys. But what are your thoughts on the actual video itself? You got anything you want to talk about? You got anything you want to say?
Bro, there is so many gems in this video. Well, all right, let's talk about the ones that you just brought up, though, right? Like, talk about there is no opponent, because there's no I in opponent. The only opponent that there is yourself. And that goes back to learning how to lose, right? Because it's not about how good that person was, or whoever it was. It was about what you missed in the moment. I love that, man, because like I said, in life, the only person you're really competing against is your former self, or what should be your former self, and that goes into what he was saying about, I don't hit, it just responds. Water doesn't care about whether there's something in front of it. It just goes. And when you're in a flow state with being like water. When he said, you know, when my opponent contracts, I expand. When they expand, I contract. Like, it's a flow state. It's like, oh, I'm like water. I'm gonna see the opportunity. I'm going to see it. Like, I don't have to think about it. It's like you said, a martial artist doesn't, you know, they neither think nor do they dream, right? Like, overthinking is gonna get you hit in the mouth. Dreaming is gonna get you hit in the mouth. Because dreaming means you're not really present in the moment.
You're not present.
You're
exactly.
somewhere else, right? Again, being like water, man. It all comes together. There's so many gems in that.
That shit is so deep, man. Like
No.
we can go on for a while with that, man.
Yeah,
we can go on for a while, man. But I guess before we get into the next video, and this is gonna be pertaining to Black people, you know, and Kung Fu, and I'm really glad I found this video. And we'll talk a little bit more about it and just reminisce a little bit more. I'm gonna answer Christian's question. So he says, question for Jay: do you have any animes that inspire you when it comes to fighting techniques? So that, you know what I'm saying, you know this was eventually gonna come up. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're talking about martial arts. Martial arts is always gonna be, you know, in today's world, a lot of people watch, you know, martial art animes. Animes always fighting hands. You know what I'm saying? You got Dragon Ball, Naruto. You got all the plethora of anime that focus on actual fighting techniques and just fighting in general. So I'll let you answer that question, man.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z, hands down. Like, Dragon Ball Z is what really got me interested, like, in martial arts way back when. But that's not the most inspirational, though. Okay. It's not. The most inspirational one was Rurouni Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin. Ooh, took that shit.
I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
The reason why Rurouni Kenshin to me is the most insightful and the most inspiring is because you are literally looking at a man who is fighting with the statement, "There is no I an opponent."
Yeah. Yeah, I think
you got a man who was they called him the Batosai, the manslayer. Like, he was killing folk up in here for real. To switch to a whole nother side where I can't kill, but it's innate in his nature to do so. You talking about fighting yourself?
Every fiber in his body has been trained to eliminate people, and he doesn't kill people anymore.
He can't. He doesn't. So much so his whole eyes, like, and he fights it and goes back to being the but still manages not to kill people. That is inspiring, man. When you're able to reach.
Never thought about that.
Yeah, man. Like, it's like what we talked about, like self-mastery. When you reach that level of self-mastery, it, like, emotions are gonna come, right? Anger is gonna come, sadness is gonna come. The idea is not to suppress it, it's to feel through it. But you will always be over the emotion. The emotion can't be over you. And that's why I say Rurouni Kenshin to me is the most inspiring. Because, you know, you look at Goku, you look at Vegeta, you look at Piccolo, like, they actually use anger to get, you know, upset. Like, the anger takes over. Perfect example is Gohan. Cell.
Yeah, Gohan Cell.
End up getting everybody killed.
Right? But I will say, if I'm answering the question, definitely, I like how you brought up Rurouni Kenshin, man. I'm really glad you brought up Rurouni, because I was gonna bring up Rurouni Kenshin, but Dragon Ball, of course, you know, Dragon Ball got everybody. Like, I tell everybody this, like, look, if humanity was going to make a time chamber, a time capsule, and, like, we only had enough space to have one anime that's going to represent all of anime.
Hands down.
Goku is going in that motherfucking pot. I don't care.
Come on, dog.
I don't care. Nothing else is more influential than that golden hair, bro. Super Saiyan, bro. Nothing. Facts. Like, it crosses all. It crosses anime into movies, into every. People that don't even watch Dragon Ball talk about Go Super Saiyan. I don't care. Yeah, Goku's going in there. So, like, you know,
it's facts.
And in terms of, like, me, there's a lot of other animes that I can go into, but I like after you talking about Rurouni Kenshin the way you did, it reminded me of obviously when Goku did Ultra Instinct for the first time, or when he mastered Ultra Instinct, when he mastered it. Yeah, I'm sure you watched that episode. I hope. Okay, so that legitimately gave that was another moment that gave me goosebumps. And it's like it's the same kind of repeating thing, you know, when something real is like a real concept is being presented to you. For example, the video that we just watched, and then the one before that with Bruce Lee. That moment, actually, let me pull that shit up, bro. I gotta pull it up, bro. Hold up. Goku masters Ultra Instinct. Got to pull it up, man. Got to, man. Dude, I was on the edge of my chair when
that was a serious moment, dog.
Oh my god, let me pull this down.
That was a serious moment, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up.
When he shrank that blast.
Actually, hold on. I want to skip it to where.
Wait! Don't move past this point where he made a whole cosmos.
Yeah. Look at this. He made a whole
universe. Come on, fam. Come on. Look, he even got Slick back. He up there looking crazy.
He made a whole galaxy, man. So, all right. So I want to skip to where Whis was talking, bro. That's what I want, because that's what truly. Oh no, he already did it. No, this is not the video.
That was like I think the last episode. Yeah.
I need to see right when. Whis.
You want
Hold on.
I forget what episode
bring it up.
was.
Bring it up. This one right here, bro.
That's it right there. Yeah.
That's it.
You see that, my lord? It would appear that we have a new reason for hope, Lord Beerus. I can feel it. Not the chaos of consciousness, but the elegant purity of energy operating on impulse alone.
Ooh.
Goku is focused only on Jiren now, or rather on the battle itself. He is throwing his whole body and soul into the fleeting moment of each strike, allowing the flames of his power to rage freely, unrestrained by the walls of thought. Concerns for his universe, or the gap in their powers, his hesitation, his impatience, his fear. He has given them all to the fire and let them burn. So that now there is only himself, his opponent, and the fight. Soon he will reach a realm still faster, keener, and deeper than instinct, where even that awareness will blur and fade. And beyond that...
I don't understand where he's getting all of this power.
Goku is generating a heat I've never felt before.
Bro. Let me tell you, if there's anything in the world that gave me goosebumps when I watched it, it was that moment, bro. That is that's exactly what we've been talking about this whole entire time. That is exactly what Bruce Lee was talking about to be in water. That's exactly what Rurouni Kenshin was doing. Like, this is it. That is the moment. And I believe that is what truly inspires us. And I think it speaks to a deeper part of our humanity that we don't even really, like, a lot of people won't even truly understand. You know what I'm saying? But it still speaks to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, that moment when he turned
that's fire, man.
Absolutely golden, bro. I can't think of a better moment. And when people talk to me about, oh, what's the greatest anime fight of all time? If that's not the greatest anime fight of all time, bro, I just don't understand like where you're getting your facts from. Because that moment, all right, you're gonna have to let me know, what do you think is better than that moment?
That's a hard one to top, though.
What is better than that moment, bro? I think
so. From a from a visual perspective, there's nothing that tops that moment. I think
Okay.
meaning behind something, though, the first fight between Goku and Vegeta,
Like the Saiyan arc when
the Saiyan arc.
Vegeta, okay, when Vegeta
Mhm.
came down, he was talking to him about Saiyans and all that stuff. That had a lot of
The,
deep meaning. The
elites versus the elites
Yeah.
versus the lower class,
Yeah.
and just the dynamic between the two, crazy.
Yeah, that was a lot. I ain't gonna cap. That was a lot, but I think my argument still holds. But we'll I digress.
We can agree. We can agree to disagree. Like I said,
agree to
from a
disagree.
visual perspective, ain't nothing topping that. And to stick to the topic of what that we're talking about today, you're right. That fight, that takes the cake.
Right.
For sure.
Exactly. All right. So moving on from that, man, I appreciate that question, Christian. That definitely blew up into a nice little
Thank you.
Nice little segue. Appreciate it, man. Let's move into the final video, and I'm gonna bring that up. Okay, right here. So pull this back.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
So we're definitely not gonna watch the whole thing, but I want to just highlight. Let's skim through it. So we'll start at the beginning.
Mhm.
So I'm sure everybody's gonna get this when the video plays. But this is basically a video describing on why Black people love Kung Fu. What did martial arts and what did the cinema and what did it do to us, and why are we so keen to it? And it's very specifically Black people, North American. You know what I'm saying? Here in America.
This is Bruce Lee getting his ass kicked by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, the basketballer, known for his hook shots, not really his fighting skills. But this is actually a stroke of movie casting genius, because when Game of Death was made in 1973, Abdul-Jabbar was at the peak of his powers in the NBA. He was a huge star, and he was also a friend and martial arts student of Bruce Lee's. What the makers of the film hit upon is that Kung Fu, like basketball, was and is massively popular with Black audiences.
Wait a minute. Are you playing ping pong with nunchucks?
And you might have already noticed this, because Kung Fu references have been prevalent in Black culture for almost half a century. And I'm not just talking about the US. I also spent my teens idolizing Bruce Lee and Jim Kelly. So what is it about Kung Fu films that speaks so strongly to Black people?
All right, so I'm going to skim forward just a little bit.
On persecuting him, his friend, Five Fingers of Death, and The Hammer of God were common themes, which saw Bruce Lee starring alongside blaxploitation star Jim Kelly. It was a massive box office hit.
Okay, yeah.
And this had a beneficial effect on the questionable blaxploitation films. They started to incorporate ideas of Black heroism in a much more positive way. And all these new heroes could do martial arts. Only a year after Five Fingers of Death had hit the US shores, Kung Fu films were making their mark on Black culture.
Everybody was Kung Fu fighting.
Yeah, the soul dance.
And the impact would run deep, inspiring
Crazy, man.
weren't allowed to go and see those late night cinema screenings. The 80s saw a second wave of releases across the US on syndicated television. All this set the scene for the 90s, where Kung Fu's influence on Blackness produced some truly outstanding pieces of cultural history.
Yo, check out the flow like the Hudson or PCP when I'm dusting.
Possibly the most obvious example.
Wu-Tang.
RZA and his two cousins were regulars at the 42nd Street cinemas. One night, RZA and ODB ducked into a late showing in the early hours of the morning. The film was Shaolin vs. Wu-Tang, and after it finished, they stayed to watch the whole film again. To this day, it remains RZA's favorite film.
A game of chess is like a sword fight. You must think first, right? Before you move.
RZA noticed parallels with his own life. Kung Fu battles were a lot like rap battles, about honor and reputation. My style is better than your style.
I'm saying, so we the Wu-Tang. Our style is Wu-Tang. We'll go out there and chop anybody heads off when it comes to battling on the mic. You know what I mean?
He thought of the tongue like a weapon, a sword. and spitting bars like landing blows.
Wu-Tang is a sword style. We utilize our tongues against guns.
We just flip flows with lyrics that chop.
What better way to define his crew, who were trying to make a name for themselves in hip-hop?
We studied the discipline. They was sharp. Everything was like
We just did
precise,
that this
man. The
week.
moves, the way they was thinking and all
Really?
that. They all were dealing with
Yeah.
loyalty, love and trust, honor, brotherhood. You know, so that's the only thing we really carrying out.
But beyond the Wu, the 90s and noughties gave us a whole new cast of ass-kicking black heroes.
Yeah.
There are loads of examples of this, so tell us who we've missed out in the comments.
So we'll pause it there. But yeah, you know, black people, we love the hands, man. We love to see it. And not only that, obviously, you know, there's just so much more to take away from just martial arts in itself, and then actually being able to see some people like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and, you know, other black actors, because, you know what I'm saying, we at the time we weren't really seeing ourselves on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what I'm saying, if you see a black dude whooping ass on the movie screen, you're gonna be like, oh wait, what is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole new style, you know what I'm saying? And so we start to really explore it. And one thing that I do remember, and I'll let you caveat on that. I remember as a kid, man, my dad, I'm sure he still has it. My dad had this collection of just these old Chinese films. I'm talking about, my dad was like number one in all this stuff, man. Like, he's the one that really truly got me into it. And we would be watching the movies, and he would like do all the freaking like moves and stuff like that. I remember as a kid like watching them and shit like that. It really fucking put a big emphasis on me when it came to martial arts, and I always loved watching them fly across the screen and whatnot. So what are your thoughts on that? Black people and kung fu and martial arts.
Man, I definitely grew up the same way you did, man. Like I would go outside in the backyard and be trying to like run on tree limbs and, you know, do all kind of crazy stuff, man. I think the draw really comes back to like competition, or like the mastery of oneself. And I keep saying that, man, because I think that like we as a people, like black people, I mean, you know, we're drawn to that because of the emphasis on power, the emphasis on control, the emphasis on mastering something, man. And you know, I'm sure maybe other cultures do that too, but it's something about black people and you know, the martial arts. Man, I mean, that's the only way I could really describe it. Is I know for me,
our craving to like master something or be powerful in some aspect.
Exactly. And you know, I love what RZA was saying about they turn their tongues into weapons, you know, because ultimately what martial arts is about, man, is your mind is the sharpest weapon. And when your mind is sharp, man, you can do anything. You know, it's a lot of stereotypes and stuff about black people, like, oh, black people can jump the highest and do all this other stuff, man. It's and people can put credence into that. Yeah, some of it's true, but I mean, the thing about it is, man, is like testing your own theory, testing your own metal against it. Like, I can't tell you, man, when I was a kid, there wasn't a time where if I saw somebody do something and it was in a realm of something that I liked, like I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna try to do that and I'm gonna do it better than you. You know what I'm saying? you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think that again, that's kind of like the draw, at least for me, man. And then you get into the mental aspect of it later if people, you know, take it and run. But initially, it just looks cool, bro. Like, it's just something I want to do.
It looks cool, man. It's like they doing backflips and they doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Like,
who don't want to do that?
Who doesn't? But like, but like, it is. I guess it's like we, especially our generation, like we were almost fanatics about it, you know. and even talking to other groups of people, you know, you could talk to the average white guy, the average Indian guy, even the average Asian guy. They weren't even that into like some of the things that we were into, like, oh, did you watch this and this movie and like you know that, and like, oh, you know what I'm saying? We get so hyped over things like this, and I do believe it does speak to something about us and wanting to master something. You know, we see like the discipline. Okay, for this guy to throw, you know, a 1-inch punch, and it's like boom. It's like, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to see that it speaks to something deeper in like, or maybe it was just, it just penetrated our community at the right time, and it blew up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just there. You know, somebody took a gamble and was like, look, we're gonna have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in this film. We're gonna try it. You know, a lot of people are like, no, like, you shouldn't have him in the film. You could have somebody else more famous, or somebody else that could play the role better. This tall, lanky ass basketball player is fighting Bruce Lee. It's like, wow, like, you know what I'm saying? And like things like this, it just, you know, the way we were at the time, you know, and it was, and in the video, we didn't watch it, but in the video, it also spoke on, like, this was during, like, you know, the Black Power revolution, you know what I'm saying? Black Power movement, you know, Black Panthers, and you know, everything else is going on. So a lot of Black people were in that state where, like what you're saying was, they were looking to be more powerful, right? And like fighting and whooping somebody's ass was just one way to be more powerful. So seeing it, and it just happens at this right time where everybody's, you know, in this mode. It just fell right into our laps, and it just blew up. And like our dad, you know, I'm sure our you know, our dads and people before that, and watched it and just absorbed it, and we're gonna pass it on to our kids too. My kids gonna watch Dragon Ball from episode 1. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. So I definitely believe it speaks to something very high in us, and I think it's great. And I think more Black people should actually go out and just do martial arts. You know what I'm saying? Actually do it. Oh man, yes. And actually, you know, absolutely to have some kind of discipline, and that's honestly what I plan on doing next, man. Like I think I'm gonna really like put the bodybuilding down, and pick up like a true discipline, man. Because like even after, like, you know, hearing the way you talk about it, and hearing Bruce Lee again, and we speak that, it's like, bro, I gotta learn something, man. But go ahead, bro. You got any closing comments on this video and whatnot, or anything else that you want to talk about?
Oh man, I think you closed it perfectly, man. With especially when you started talking about the time frame that Black people were in at the time, man, where we were on the rise, but we didn't feel like it. Exactly. Right? Like we needed something to make us feel powerful, and being able to look at those martial arts shows on TV, man, and being able to go out and try to mimic those things, and really leading, you know, people to really start learning. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like we can defend ourselves for real if we need to, man. Like it's huge, man. It's huge, you know? So, but yeah, man, you know, I think that there is one thing I wanted to get into before you close, and because you said you wanted to get into a discipline.
Yeah, I do. I really do, man. And there's a lot of other. I mean, I can go into detail about it, but what were you gonna say?
Yeah, because I want to ask you, because, bro, if anybody hasn't checked out Yasuke Fitness, what are y'all doing? When we talk about discipline, bro, what you do is the epitome of discipline. Arguably harder than doing a martial art or something like that. Because you don't realize how many people like will do a martial art or do something yet neglect their body and wonder why they don't perform the best or perform as well as they think they should. Just because you have the technique, the body has to be able, you know. So I would say, And I just the question I ask is, do you agree or disagree? Like I would say, you're looking for another discipline because you have achieved self-mastery in this one.
You know what? First of all, I want to say appreciate you and I thank you, man. I really do appreciate it, man. Like what your words literally really do strike a deep part of me, man. Like I really appreciate it, man. I do a lot of work, and like I'm not the one to try and obviously it's bodybuilding, it's very aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of other things too. I can do like HIIT and all this stuff, but I tend to not like really be so boastful about it, right? Obviously, I like to, double bicep flex and whatnot, but I do it from a place of like, look at my hard work and versus, I'm big and I'm strong, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, and I always say, when somebody looks at me, it's weird, bro. It's weird because I never thought that I would ever be inspirational when I started this. You know what I'm saying? When I started lifting and I started like actually taking my steps, going to the gym, working on getting stronger, working on my physique, working on my diet, I never thought that I was gonna do something that would like other people were gonna be like, bro, like that's awesome, man. Because it wasn't until like literally a couple weeks before my first bodybuilding show where people were like, dude, like you're doing some crazy shit. Like, that's crazy, that's wild, that's awesome. And I sat back and I was like, damn, like I guess it is. So like that's like that just goes to show you where my head was at. I was just like on go. You know what I'm saying? I was feeling myself. Like I was in flow state, And so, but I really do appreciate it, man. And I will say yes to what you're saying. I do believe that obviously there's more, there's levels to it, right? There's levels to bodybuilding. You can go pro, you know what I'm saying? You can go like, I'm going to be the fitness guy always, that's always going to be my bread and butter. They always say, leave the dance with who brought you there. You know what I'm saying? Leave the dance with whoever brought you there. Right?
Who brought you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And bodybuilding in the gym is like, taking me to places and gotten me indoors that, I could have never imagined. But I do believe that I know for a fact that I'm not going to be trying to go pro, because obviously you have the dark side of bodybuilding where it comes to body enhancements, drugs, things like that. And that's the only way to truly compete and actually make this name for yourself, right? You could be inspirational on the local level, but if you want to reach a national level, international level, then you're gonna have to get bigger. And those guys, man, they do anything to get size, anything that, you know what I'm saying? And like, I think about my body, I think about my heart, I think about my lungs.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, if I wake up one day and my heart, my blood pressure is going crazy, and because I took whatever this guy told me to take, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like I'm gonna feel so bad, and I think my own psyche is gonna get affected by it, right? I think my own psyche, I have this very congruent mental framework of myself, right? I'm gonna call it a framework. And taking steroids or taking PEDs, it's like this red flag that I just know, like something deeper inside me, my conscience is saying, don't do that, O'Neal. You're not gonna like yourself after you do that, right? You know what I'm saying?
Integrity, man.
Integrity, you know what I'm saying? It's like fucking with an ugly chick. It's like, don't do that, man. You're not gonna like yourself after that happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dead serious. I'm serious. It's one of those things. And every guy has it. Every guy has that, or some people don't, and then that's when they lose themselves. But every guy has that governor in their head that's like telling them is like, okay, that's a little too much. Some people don't. Some people are like, hey, I'll do a cycle on this, I'll do that, whatever it takes to get bigger, and that's just not me. But yeah, dude, I really want to getting into another discipline, man. I actually, when I went to Portugal last year, I spoke to a guy out there, a Portuguese guy, and he does capoeira. And I was like, dude, like, imagine how amazing it would be to do capoeira, right? And I was like, yo, like, I would love to do capoeira. And like that was one thing that I left on the back burner. I mean, I did Muay Thai and boxing for a little while. I always wanted to do it like an amateur boxing match. But like, I think what I'm trying to, when I said I want to take on a new discipline, I want to be still. You know what I'm saying? I want to be poised, and from the first day I get there, I want to make all of the little adjustments that I need to make in order to master whatever I'm doing. So if they start me at level 1 white belt, it's like I'm doing every single thing in the world, and I'm doing it to the best of my ability every day.
Yeah.
In order to advance and rank up, or like not even just rank up, but just to like develop that discipline over time. And I guess I am looking for that. Okay, I suck at this, and then let me get better at it thing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, man.
I think you're definitely right there. You definitely hit the nail with the hammer on that one. And I'm still thinking about it, still trying to get reins on it, because once I do that, like I'm all in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm all in. So everything else is like, the gym might have to like stop for a little while. You know what I'm saying? I have to like buy some weights and do weights at home, but yeah.
What I'll say, man, is that's dope that you're gonna do that, man, because self-mastery is really just the beginning. Like when you reach, like for instance, in Kung Fu, when you reach golden black sash or black sash, that is just the beginning of mastery. That just means that you've reached a certain state where certain things. Your body is in free form to a certain degree, but there is, like you said, it's levels to this. It's levels to this for real. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, I agree with you 1,000%, man. You may have reached a certain level of mastery with bodybuilding, and kudos to you, because the level of mastery that you've reached, I think, is higher than those of people that would kind of sell out and kind of use PEDs and stuff like that, man. And it's no shade to anybody, but it's like, where is the mastery in something that was given to you versus what was earned? Right? Like, and I'm not saying that those guys don't work, but let's admit, what do they call it? O'Neal, what do they call it? When you're a natty, that means you're natural, right? Like you're a natty. You know what I'm saying? Like a natty working versus somebody who's on PEDs, man. Like, the results may not necessarily be the same.
Yeah,
but,
exactly. Like the work, you guys could work the same, but you're not getting the same results for sure.
Right. Exactly.
And a lot of these guys, they don't even look human. Like after a certain point, you don't even look human. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's cool to see. And I got bodybuilders all over my Instagram timeline. But one day I really sat back and thought, and I was like, man, this guy looks like some kind of, like they injected a bunch of steroids in a cow or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you just look, and that's the reason why bodybuilding is popular, because we want to see the freaks. We want to see something freakishly large and like, whoa, like his quads, like is that like that's what people want to see. They don't want to see natural bodies bodybuild, because it's not as impressive. It's cool, it's hard work and it's disciplined, but it's just not as cool. Maybe if but they did something where like natural bodybuilders like would cut down and they would like fight each other or something like that. That would probably be a little bit more interesting, right? To see like shredded dudes fight, but like that probably wouldn't even work out well. Probably a lot of accidents and deaths, probably, because it's just not healthy. But anyways, bro, I guess like fun, like we are a little over time, but it's called good. You know what I'm saying? I love the conversation. I'll run it as long as I can, but definitely closing comments on this, man. Number one, dog, I appreciate you for even coming into this episode. I'd love that. This was a great episode, number W episode in my book. I love talking about things like this, and it truly excites me, and I hope that anybody that's watching gets a little bit of something from it. And anybody that's watching the video, definitely drop something in the comments. Let us know what you think about everything that we talked about, right? The flow state, Goku, Bruce Lee, black people in Kung Fu, whatnot, all of it. Let us know what you think. But again, appreciate you for showing up, taking this time out of your day for this episode, and I hope to have you on some more episodes, man. I definitely think we should talk. We should rehash this again. And I believe this is something that, you know, we can definitely go like into a lot of different, you know, sectors when it comes to like the mind and the body and stuff like that. I did tell you that I wanted to go to China and join an academy, but that plan's definitely been put on the back burner for now. But like that's always been a dream of mine, bro. Like to be able to do that. I know that if I did that, I would come back a whole different. I don't even know what I would become, because it blows my mind. Like I would tell that to certain people. Like you were the only person that actually, because you actually knew people that did that shit. You actually know people.
One of my best friends, he spent 10 years. He went every summer for 10 years. And he is light years ahead of everybody in our class.
Man. That's crazy, dude. Like, you know, like when I told you, you were like, "Oh yeah, I could show you the guy that does this." You're like,
"Yeah, he's right here."
You know,
yeah, like
talk to him. You know what I'm saying? But like when I tell this to like regular people, like, you know, I'd be like, "Yo, like I really want to go to a Shaolin Academy in China and train for like a year or like 5 months or even 1 month." People would look at me like, "Yo, you're freaking insane! Like this man is gone off the freaking the rails." And I'm like, "Dog, like you don't know, like there's a whole world out there." You know what I'm saying? Like if I were to experience that, something so far away from what I am, who I am, everything that I know in this environment, gotta adjust, gotta adapt. We're gonna be climbing mountains, freaking, you know, doing all this crazy stuff. And obviously, I'm not going to be like doing crazy stuff, but like I'm going to be training with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be a part of something, you know, an academy. And I believe that's just going to that would be a beautiful and amazing portion of my life. And like, I definitely, bro, like I'd rather it happen sooner than later because I'm only getting older. But, you know, I hope to really do that one day, man. But any closing comments, remarks, anything that you want to say? I'm gonna read this comment right after. Actually, I'm gonna read this comment before we start. Before you,
go ahead, man.
Begin. Christian, amazing episode. I think you meant to say definitely an eye opener. Flow like water. Don't let emotions take over control. Don't let emotions take control of your mind. Thank you, fellas, for the food for thought. Absolutely. Hey, man. Any day, Christian. Moose. Any day, bro. Stay up, man. Appreciate you for coming by. Dropping comments, man, interacting with the stream, of course, man. Much love to you, man. Any closing comments or remarks, Jay, before we head out?
Man, I'll just say, man, thank you for having me, man. This is an honor, man. I'm just happy to be able to talk with you, man. You know, we had it's been a while, man. It's good to see you. It's good to lay eyes on you, brother.
Yeah, bro. It's good.
I'm gonna get out that way. Now I know where you're at. I'm gonna get out that way, man. I'm gonna come see about you. Bro. I'll show you a few things, man. Because it was it's crazy, man. You go back and you watch some of that stuff now. It's like, oh man, we do that in class. Like that's body conditioning. Like that's a form, you know. So yeah, man, it's dope. This was a dope episode, man. I would love to be back. You know, thank you for having me again, man. Anytime. I'm all for it, man. So thank you, brother.
Man. Awesome, man, dude. Thank you once again. And I guess closing out, if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. It's going to help me out. Like the video. Like the video. Drop a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're working on, too. This is gym check-in, so I always want people to come in and let me know what you're working on. You want to build bigger chest. You want to build bigger shoulders, quads. You're working on your calves. You know what I'm saying? You got to work on those calves, too. But, you know, check in with me. Follow me on Instagram at Yasuke Fitness, of course. You got anything you want to plug in?
Yeah. I mean, follow me at jdavis236 on Instagram, and then you know, follow us on Shaolin Institute. Awesome. You know, you'll see a lot of the stuff that we do on there, man. You know, if you Google Kung Fu, our Shifu comes up.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he's the grandmaster of the grandmasters out in China. So.
Oh, damn.
He's kind of a problem. So.
Kind of a problem. Anyways, man, that's amazing, man. It truly is amazing. But anyways, aside from that, appreciate everybody for dropping in. This is another episode of Gym Check-In, episode 18 with Jay Davis in the building. And like the video, man. Subscribe, help your boy out. And we're going to sign out of here, all right? We out of here.
Get them likes up, man.
Peace, y'all.
Be like water.
Hell yeah.